This comes on the heels of the Japanese airbag maker taking out full-page ads like this one. Take a look. In the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post, it says things like, our #1 priority has been the safety of the traveling public, and even one failure is unacceptable. This is 2 months after the problems. It's taken the CEO 2 months to simply put an ad in the paper explaining his position. Shocking. With me now, auto expert Lauren Fix, the car coach. Before we get to this, Chrysler, tonight, more recalls they're announcing for the first time. I just want to mention that to you right now. What do you make of that?
Well, it's just pressure from consumers and from other automakers. They met in Detroit just recently, 10 different automakers that are impacted by this, and they're saying, what are we going to do? You know, this is impacting all of us, not just from a PR standpoint, financially. We have a supplier that has a problem. Now, exactly what? We're not going to be able to find that out just yet. But that's one thing, they got the pressure from the other manufacturers.
You mentioned PR, and when I see PR, I think this Takata ad is PR.
Oh, yeah.
And it's shocking that the company hasn't been more forthcoming publicly, and I'm surprised that they haven't taken NHTSA to heart. NHTSA has called repeatedly for them to recall these airbags. Why aren't they doing that?
It's very strange. Very rarely do you hear of a company having NHTSA say, we want a national recall, and they're saying, no, we're not going to do it. Now, I understand financially that is a serious issue. It could impact their bottom line. But they have to look at, there's been deaths. And we know from the data that we've received, there are 3 total recalls: a driver's side recall, a passenger side airbag recall, and a side driver's side impact airbag recall. So with those 3 different recalls, you would think they would try to be more proactive. And some of the suggestions that I've heard, like have other companies make the part, it's not like it's the same thing across.
It's not that easy to do.
Right. From a manufacturing standpoint, it can't be done.
So it's clear that the burden is shifted now from Takata to the U.S. and German and Japanese automakers,
yes,
to get them to find solutions to the problem. Are they up to the task?
Oh, I think they have no choice. They love their customers. They want to keep their customers, and every manufacturer is doing what they have to do to make your customers happy, even if the vehicle's a 2001, because I know at some point you're going to need another vehicle, and I want you to come back to my brand and be loyal.
Now, you've said to our producers that BMW and Chrysler are the big laggards in making these recalls. Why?
Well, I think Chrysler was waiting for pressure because there were so many vehicles that Chrysler had under their window. So they've stepped up. BMW doesn't have as many vehicles under the recall, and BMW's always been a good company about following through. So if you do have your car on the list, I am sure BMW is going to stand behind it.
Well, you've got to know where your car is, and we keep that on our website. So if you want to know if your car is being recalled because of Takata airbags, go to our website, GerriWillis.com. In the meantime, I want to show you an actual physical Takata airbag. We've shown you these airbags blowing up, and I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to move it in front of me so you can see just exactly what it looks like, okay? This would be presenting to your dash, so into your face. This is the bag that would blow up, and here behind it is the material. So these little, can you get this? This is what connects and tells the airbag that it needs to inflate. The messages come in right here, and when they do, it is this piece right here that will break open, that will, how do I want to put this?
It implodes.
It implodes.
It's a chemical reaction.
So this is a metal cylinder, and it contains ammonium nitrate, and the ammonium nitrate is what breaks this open. Now, there are tiny little holes in this, and that's where the air was supposed to come through. But in this case, that's not what happens, because the explosion is so hard, so fast, so violent, that this whole thing breaks apart. And I have to tell you, here, feel that. That's heavy.
Right. And remind you that that implosion is approximately 238 miles an hour, and it goes about 200 to 300 milliseconds. That's half of an eye blink when this happens. So when you're looking at this chemical reaction happening, and because of the way they were manufactured, and I had some statistics from a report that was put out, 60 to 80 defective parts per 1 million airbags that were produced out of the Mexico plant. So that
makes it sound like it's unimportant.
Right, but in this case, I know Takata cares about their product, but they have to show it to us as consumers. They're a family-held company.
Let me tell you, this blows up in your face.
It's bad.
No, let me finish. This breaks up in your face and comes flying at you. This company does not care about you. Okay, I don't care what they're saying in the paper, what ads they're buying. This is a problem that needs to be fixed. They need to recall this product. People are dying, Americans are dying, and it doesn't need to happen.
People are dying all around the world, and there's 20 million cars that have Takata airbags that are potentially deadly. There should be as far as I'm concerned, and they should have stood by this, NHTSA should have put the pressure on Takata to say national recall, and it should be around the world. And I don't know what's stopping this. I'm not sure if it's politics, if it's money, whatever it is. The fact is we as consumers buy a car in good faith.
So, Lauren, tell us tonight what consumers should do. If you own one of these cars, you have a Takata Airbag. They say that it doesn't matter unless you're under humid conditions. We've seen places where they've blown up, malfunctioned,
Arizona,
hurt
that's
people.
not humid.
So what should you do?
We should just take your vehicle identification number. That number is where the dashboard meets the window. Write that number down, call your local dealer, ask for the service department, or you can go to safercar.gov, which is NHTSA's website. I know you have it on your website as well. Put in your vehicle identification number. If the car is under recall, get it taken care of. I just talked to 2 people who were sitting in the other room. They had it done. It took them a couple hours.
That's awesome. If you can get it, I think it's not always easy to get that new airbag.
That's
if you can't get the new airbag, the other thing that you can do is ask for a loaner. Ask for a loaner. Tell them you do not want to drive the car. See if they will give you a different car to drive.
Demand a loaner, because I'll tell you what, if you don't demand one, they'll say, well, we'll just disengage your airbag. No, that is not acceptable. A sticker on the passenger side saying don't sit here is ridiculous. If you've got a problem, you don't feel comfortable, get me a rental car at the dealer's expense. They can figure it out themselves.
Lauren, thank you so much for coming on. The demo of the Takata